Hello everyone, welcome to Mr. Naylor's class. I'm Mr. Naylor, and today what we're going to learn about is how to evaluate functions in function notation. Now before we do any of that, the first thing that we want to make sure that we remember how to do is the order of operations. Let's review that for just a second. The order of operations is parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, left to right. No matter what comes first, we want to move left to right when we have multiplication and division. For example, if I have 8 divided by 4 times 2, I know that multiplication is first before division in PEMDAS. However, multiplication and division, we will always want to go left to right. So we would actually do the 8 divided by 4 first, which is 2, and then multiply that by 2, which is 4. A lot of people, they'll see the D first, the multiplication first and the D second. What they'll want to do is they'll want to multiply the 4 times the 2 and get 8, and then 8 divided by 8, and they'll get 1, and that's not the correct answer. So multiplication and division is always left to right no matter what comes first. And then when you have addition and subtraction, you always go left to right no matter what comes first. Now, another thing that I want to make sure that we understand and we remember, a little bit of review, is a function is a graph that passes the vertical line test. That means anytime you draw a vertical line through the graph, for example, let's say it's a line like this, no matter where I draw a vertical line, if it only touches the graph in one place, it passes the vertical line test, and it means it's a function. I can draw other graphs up here, like for example, a parabola is also a function because it also passes the vertical line test. Don't forget also that a graph is a function, or a set of data points is a function if the x value only has one y value associated with it. When you have repeated x values, it's not a function. So let's take a look now at some examples of function notation. Let's say I have f of x equals 3x plus 5. And I want to evaluate for f of 2. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for what is the y value, or f of 2, when x equals 2. So if you remember, the input value or the domain value is the x value. I want you to think of this function notation as a machine. I'm going to put one thing in, my input, 2, and then I'm going to crank out an answer and get an output value, which is a y value for this equation right here. Anytime you see f of x, you can always put the letter y instead. So let's take a look. All I have to do is substitute that 2 wherever I see an x. So I'm going to put f of 2 is 3 times 2 plus 5. Now remember the order of operations. You've got to multiply before you can add. So we have 3 times 2 is 6 plus 5 is 11. So when the x value is 2, the y value is 11. All right, let's take a look at another one. Let's say we have f of x equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. And let's say we want to find what the answer is when x is 3. So what we're doing is we're looking for what f of 3 is equal to. So our answer is going to look like this. F of 3 equals what? So I'm going to put a 3 in wherever I see an x value. So I have f of 3 equals 3 squared plus 2 times 3 plus 1. So 3 squared, we know, is 9. Remember, we want to follow the order of operations, right? Parentheses first. There is no parentheses. The next thing is an exponent. 3 squared is 9. Plus 6 plus 1. Now all we have left is addition. So when we have addition left, we want to go left to right. So f of 3, 9 plus 6 is 15 plus 1 is 16. When the x value is 3, the y value is 16. So f of 3 is equal to 16. Let's take a look at another one. Let's say we have h of x equals x squared plus 5x minus 2. And let's say we're looking for h of x when x equals negative 4, for example. So we want to find what is h of negative 4 equal to. Anytime you have h of x or f of x or g of x, really you can replace that with the letter y. Okay, it's the same as saying y equals x squared plus 5x minus 2. So I'm going to put the negative 4 in for x right here. So h of negative 4 equals negative 4 squared. Now, one major mistake that people make when they put in negative 4 and they substitute it in place of x when there's a square is they'll leave it like this. If you put negative 4 squared in your calculator, your calculator will square the 4 and then put the negative sign there and give you negative 16. Well, we're not looking for negative 4 squared. We're looking for negative 4 squared in parentheses like this. The difference is there's negative 4 times a negative 4. There's 2 negative 4s, okay? So, got to make sure that we put this in parentheses, and we're going to put it in our calculator, plus 5 times negative 4 minus 2. So, the first thing that I want to do in terms of the order of operations is I want to do anything in parentheses first. And there's nothing in parentheses to do. So the next thing I would want to do is my exponents. Here's an exponent right there, negative 4 squared. Negative 4 squared is 16. The next thing that I would do is multiplication. There's multiplication right there. I'm going to do it in the next step. So I have h of negative 4 equals 16. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20 minus 2. Now we have addition and subtraction. The addition is the positive 16. We're going to move from left to right. 16 minus 20 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. So when the x value is negative 4, the y value is negative 6. h of negative 4 equals negative 6. Now, I'm going to give you one to try on your own. And I'm going to do it too, and let's see if we come up with the same answer. Let's say we have g of x equals 3x squared plus 4x minus 2. And let's say our x is the number 2. So when x is 2. This is going to be a little bit more complicated. We want to make sure that we follow the order of operations. Very important here. You guys go ahead and try this. I'm going to try this also. Let's see if we come up with the same answer. Go ahead and press the pause button. When you're done trying it, press the play button. I'll do it. Let's see if we got the same answer. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to put the 2 in for x. So 2, 3 times 2 squared plus 4 times 2 minus 2. The order of operations tells me to do parentheses. There's no parentheses. The next thing it tells me to do is an exponent. There is an exponent. 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to put that down first. 3 times 4 plus 4 times 2 minus 2. The next thing it's going to tell me to do is multiplication and division, left or right. I see some multiplication here and here. So I got 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8 minus 2. The last thing I'm going to do is addition and subtraction, left to right. I got a positive 12, a positive 8, and a minus 2. So 12 plus 8 is 20. 20 minus 2 is 18. So when the x value is 2, the y value is 18. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. And I'll see you in the next one.